basic necessity for all forms of life on Earth. No life can exist without water. What is the amount of usable water on Earth? Out of the total 3% of fresh water, only a very limited amount of just little more than 30% is available for us as groundwater or other surface water sources. Even the small amount of fresh water is no longer fresh to use. Can you guess the reasons? One of the main reasons is pollution of surface as well as groundwater from industrial effluents and urban waste. The level of groundwater is also shrinking due to various reasons such as overexploitation for urban and agricultural use, fast runoff caused by loss of vegetation cover, and cultivation of high water demanding crops in various parts of India. Have a look at the map to know the distribution of rivers and rainfall in our country. Though the study of the rainfall and the rivers do not reveal exact scenario of the availability of water, however, it presents a bird's eye view of the overall pattern. Water is not distributed equally on the Earth's surface. Look at the two pictures taken in the same city. How do you justify a water theme park in a city with acute water shortage? Thus, we need a proper management of the water resources. Let us know how the process of water management evolved in our country. The concept of large projects such as large dams in India were first conceived and implemented by British. By 1947, there were about 300 dams in India, largely used for irrigation. After independence, as a first step to attain self-sufficiency in food grain, the new government started some mega projects on various rivers of India. Can you name the first multipurpose river valley project constructed in India? Damodar Valley project was the first multipurpose river valley project started after independence in 1948. Do you know why dams are built? Large dams can ensure storage of adequate water not only for irrigation but also various other purposes such as generation of electricity, water supply for domestic and industrial uses, flood control, recreational activities like park, boating, etc., inland navigation, and fish breeding. Now, let us know one of the important steps taken to overcome water scarcity in dry region. The Thar Desert region is one of the driest regions of India. The construction of Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan provides irrigation facilities over a large area in the driest part of the country. The canal has transformed the barren desert of western districts into rich, green agricultural fields. Though the dams and canals are able to solve the problem of water scarcity in some areas, the people who have been displaced for construction of the dams and canals never get its fair share. There are always protests against construction of big dams on various grounds. Can you name some of the protests carried out against construction of big dams? Some of the river valley dams which are under scrutiny of social activists are Tehri Dam, Sardar Sarovar Dam, etc. Why do the social activists oppose the construction of large dams? Large dams are always criticized on the following grounds. Social problem. Dams displace large number of peasants and tribals without adequate compensation or rehabilitation. Economic problem. Dams swallow up a huge amount of public money without the generation of proportionate benefits. Environmental problem. Dams contribute enormously to deforestation and the loss of biological diversity. Then, how can we opt for a sustainable management of water? Let us know the success story of sustainable water management in Kottapalli village of Rangareddy district in Andhra Pradesh. International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT, started a water management project in this dry village by constructing traditional masonry check dams and gully dams. With a small use of the masonry dams, poor farmers in the village are now revolutionizing. They are proved successful in using water, soil and crops to boost food production and empower communities. Once the water-scarce area is now available to grow varieties of crops, farmers' income is doubled and 100% children go to school. What do you infer from the example? The villagers solved the problem of water scarcity with an effective management of the water and soil. This is an example of scientific watershed management. The scientific and efficient way of soil and water conservation in order to increase biomass production is known as watershed management. The aim of watershed management is developing primary resources of land and water, producing secondary resources of plants and animals for use in a manner which will not cause ecological imbalance. The advantages of watershed management lies in the fact that it not only increases the production and income of the watershed community, but also mitigate drought and flood and increases the life of the downstream dams and reservoirs. Let us know some traditional and sustainable way of water harvesting. Kulls is such a local system of irrigation canals practiced in Himachal Pradesh. The water flowing in the streams was diverted into man-made channels which took this water to the villages down the hillside. On the basis of an interesting agreement among the villagers, water was first used by the villages farthest away from the source, then progressively by higher up. Water from these kulls also percolated into the soil and fed springs at various points in this system. Are you aware of some such traditional methods of water harvesting? Some of the age-old concepts of water harvesting are Kadins, tanks and nadis in Rajasthan, bandharas and tals in Maharashtra, bundis in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, ahars and pines in Bihar, ponds in the Kandi belt of Jammu region, eris in Tamil Nadu, surangams in Kerala, kattas in Karnataka. These water harvesting techniques are highly localized and it benefits the local people. That is why local people ensure proper management of these water resources. Look at the structure of a traditional water harvesting system. Kadins. In level terrains, the water harvesting structures are mainly built by earthen embankments. Sometimes, low straight concrete check dams are built across seasonally flooded gullies. Monsoon rains fill up ponds behind the structure. The large structures can hold water the year round, but most dry up near about 6 months after monsoon. But the main purpose of recharging the groundwater is fulfilled. Can you infer the advantages of storing water in such a way? The water does not evaporate, but spread out to recharge wells, provide moisture for vegetation over a wide area. It does not provide breeding ground for mosquitoes like the stagnant water do. The recharged groundwater is relatively protected from contamination by human or animal. It prevents both flood and drought. A modern way of using traditional methods of water management is rooftop rainwater harvesting. Have you seen a rooftop rainwater harvesting system? How is it constructed? First, rooftop water is collected using PVC pipes. Then, water is filtered using sand and brick. Some underground pipes take water to a sump for immediate usage and the excess water from the sump is taken to the well. Water from the well recharges the underground water. Various organizations have been working on rejuvenating ancient system of water harvesting as an alternative of mega projects. They have been working on using hundreds of such indigenous water-saving methods. On successful implementation, all these methods can recharge groundwater level and bring river back to life. Managing water is a precious resource for all of us. We need to conserve it for the following reasons. There is no life without water. Though it is a renewable resource, very less part of it is usable. Most of the usable portion is polluted and overexploited due to human activities. How do you think we can save water? We can conserve water following some simple norms known to us. It can be done by preventing wastage of water, preventing water from getting polluted, planting trees that helps in recharging, recycling wastewater. Suppose a village suffers from scarcity of water. Can you state the possible ways through which we can conserve water to reduce water scarcity in the village? We can conserve water in various ways, such as constructing reservoirs or lakes, constructing canals from a nearby river, and constructing a reservoir in the river itself, if any river is present. These are known as hydraulic structures. This is one of the most modern hydraulic structure. What is the structure called? Yes, it is a dam. A dam is a barrier across flowing water that obstructs, directs, or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake, or impoundment. Usually, dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. The part of the dam through or over which water is intended to flow intermittently or continuously is known as spillway or weir. Dams are classified based on structure and height. Based on structure, they are classified as timber dams, embankment dams, masonry dams. Based on height, dams are classified as large dams and major dams, or alternatively as low dams, medium height dams, and high dams. Do you know that India ranks third in the world in dam building after US and China? Our country has been constructing various hydraulic structures like dams in the rivers, reservoir or lakes, canals, etc. since ages. In the 1st century BC, Sringaverapura near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system channeling from the river Ganga. During the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes and irrigation systems were built extensively. Evidences of sophisticated irrigation work have found in many places like Kalinga in Orissa, Nagarjunakonda in Andhra Pradesh, Bennur in Karnataka, etc. One of the largest artificial lakes, Bhopal Lake, was built in the 11th century. The tank of Housekhas, Delhi, was built by Iltutmish for supplying water to Siri Fort area in the 14th century. After independence, the major objective of the government was to attain economic development and self-sufficiency in food grain and improve the quality of life. Why do you think our country was not having self-sufficiency in food production during that time? Lack of irrigation facilities, lack of power supply, lack of modern technology in agriculture were some of the challenges our country had to face during independence. Being country with erratic monsoon, a system of water management was the first step required to develop agriculture. Secondly, power was the major requirement for the development of agriculture and industries. Thus, a common technology was used to utilize the river water in its best way and started various multipurpose river valley projects. The first such project was started on the river Damodar. How do you think the dams help in conserving and managing water? The traditional purpose of building dams on rivers was to irrigate agricultural field. But presently, dams are built not only provide irrigation water but also used for various developmental activities such as generation of electricity, water supply for domestic and industrial uses, flood control, recreational activities like park, boating, etc., inland navigation, fish breeding. The river Damodar, once known as Sorrow of Bengal due to ravaging flood, is providing huge opportunities by generating power and water for industries. Thus, Jawaharlal Nehru proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India, as it would integrate development of agriculture and village economy with rapid industrialization and growth of urban economy. There were around 300 large dams throughout the country during the time of independence. It has increased up to 4,000 by the year 2000. Have a look at the map to know some river valley projects in India. Bhakra Nangal project on Sutlej River benefits the states of Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Major purposes of the project are irrigation and power generation. Chambal project that includes Gandhi Sagar, Kota Barrage, Rana Pratap Sagar and Jawahar Sagar Dam is located on Chambal River. The project benefits the states of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Power generation is the major purpose of the project. Damodar Valley project on the river Damodar benefits West Bengal and Jharkhand. Major purposes of the project are irrigation, flood control and power generation. Recall Farakka Barrage on Bhagirathi in West Bengal. Why was it constructed? It was constructed to maintain Kolkata port for navigational purpose. Hirakund project on Mahanadi, Orissa was constructed for irrigation, flood control and power generation. Nagarjun Sagar project on Krishna in Andhra Pradesh provides irrigation. Rihand project on the river Rihand in Uttar Pradesh is used for power generation. Sardar Sarovar project on the river Narmada would irrigate a huge area in the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Tehri Dam on the river Bhagirathi is located in Uttaranchal. It fulfills the dual purpose of power generation and flood control. Tungabhadra project on the river Tungabhadra was constructed for irrigation that benefits the states of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. You all must be familiar with this famous personality, Medha Patkar, who is associated with anti-dam movement. What do you think are the reasons for such movements if dams are so useful? The river valley dams, once considered as the temples of modern India, have been facing several ecological and social problems. Regulating and damming of rivers affect their natural flow, causing poor sediment flow, resulting excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir. Sedimentation again results in rockier stream beds and poor habitat for the aquatic life. Dams fragment rivers, making it difficult for aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for spawning. The reservoirs that are created in the floodplains also submerge the existing vegetation and soil, leading to depletion of the ecology. Siltation also affects the safety of old reservoirs by reducing the flood attenuation and by increasing the wall pressure. A report says that 65 billion cubic meters of water will be lost by 2050. Siltation of dams and canals isn't considered seriously. There are social problems as well arising from construction of dams. These are large-scale displacement of local communities, impact on the livelihood of the local communities. Mostly, dams are beneficiary for the large farmers, landowners, industrialists and few urban centers. Poor local communities are the sufferers who need to sacrifice their land and livelihood for the development of others. Can you name some of the famous anti-dam movements? Some of the major anti-dam movements are Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan. The Narmada Bachao Andolan started around 1985 as a protest against the construction of the Sardar Sarovar Dam, which was started in 1979 on the river Narmada in Gujarat. Very soon, it became a non-governmental organization and worked continuously to mobilize the tribal people, farmers, environmentalists, and human rights activists against the Sardar Sarovar Dam. In the beginning, it focused on the environmental issues related to submergence of forest areas under the dam water, but later the movement refocused on the rehabilitation issue of over 2 lakh poor displaced citizens. The Supreme Court of India had given permission for the dam considering all the issues, and it is to be completed by 2025. Irrigation has also changed the cropping pattern of many regions, with farmers shifting to water-intensive and commercial crops. Do you see any ecological consequence of irrigation? Over-irrigation results in salinity and creates social problems such as increasing gap between rich landlord and landless poor. This has further aggravated the conflict between the groups of people wanting different uses and benefit from the same resource. Dams also create water disputes among the states. Can you mention such an example? The age-old water dispute between the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu over Kaveri water is known to everyone. Even the Krishna-Godavari dispute among Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh is raised regarding the diversion of more water at Koyna by Maharashtra government for a multipurpose project which would reduce downstream flow. Are the dams able to fulfill the purpose of flood control? Researchers prove that after construction of Hirakud Dam, the large and devastating floods have come down by 76 to 42%, while the small and moderate floods increased from 24 to 58% in Orissa. Though the short-duration floods showed a declining trend, the long-duration floods increased from 12.9 to 38.5%. In 1982, 2001, 2006 and 2008, the dam was unable to control the flood water in the state. What do you think are the reasons for such a scenario? Nearly 1% of storage capacity is lost annually due to siltation in 23 of the 27 big dams in India. Secondly, though dam reservoir preserves water, it cannot accommodate water from excess rainfall. Water has to be released during the period of heavy rainfall. Siltation in the dams can be prevented up to a certain extent with various techniques like plantation, gully plugging, check dams, etc. in the degraded portions of the catchments. What do you think the development perspectives of river valley projects overrule the problems arising out of it? The reasons for such water shortage. Many cities lack surface water sources. The sources are polluted if there are any. There is depletion of groundwater through overexploitation. Groundwater level has dropped to 90 to 300 meters, which varies in different areas. Most of the water that we get as rainfall flows as runoff in the cities due to concrete surface. India is currently blessed with abundant rainfall. The rainwater can be used for various household purposes as well as recharging the groundwater table. How do you think we can do so? Rainwater harvesting, the process of collecting and storing rainwater for future productive uses, is one alternative in the days of rising resistance against the multipurpose dam. It is the safest and most economically and ecologically viable alternative for conserving water. Rainwater harvesting systems capture and store rainwater for dry periods. Stored rainwater can be used for the following purposes. washing and cleaning vehicles, bathroom and toilet water, cooking and washing utensils, gardening, drinking after purification, all types of uses in schools, colleges, offices and laboratories. Another important purpose of rainwater harvesting is recharging groundwater, preventing wasteful runoff. Rainwater harvesting is not only useful but also advantageous over other sources. Why do you think it is so? It can be collected and used within accessible distance, continuous and reliable source, provides an alternative source of good quality water where surface and groundwater is contaminated, easy to construct with locally available material. It is environmental friendly. Rainwater harvesting is done through traditional method and modern method. Some of the traditional methods are kund or tankas, kuls, temple tanks, bamboo method, etc. Modern method includes rooftop rainwater harvesting that can be done through hand pump and abandoned dug well. Some other methods such as bore well with settlement tank, open well method with filter bed pump, percolation pit with bore method, etc. are used effectively in various cities. You must have seen a rooftop rainwater harvesting system. How is water collected through this system? First, rooftop water is collected using PVC pipes. Then, the water is filtered using sand and brick. Underground pipes take water to sump for immediate usage. Excess water from the sump is taken to the well. Water from the well recharges the underground water, which can be used from the well in dry season. Do you see any disadvantage in rooftop rainwater harvesting? Worries about acid rain and rooftop contamination are always there with rainwater harvesting. The solution lies in placing a foolproof, cost-effective treatment system. Here is a success story of rainwater harvesting. A small village near to Mysore city in Karnataka, Gendathur, has done the wonder. The villagers have installed rainwater harvesting system in their rooftop to meet their daily needs. About 200 households of the village successfully installed the system, and now they are remarkably known for being very rich in rainwater. Presently, many parts of rural and urban India, rooftop rainwater harvesting is being successfully adopted to store and conserve water. In the semi-arid and arid regions of Rajasthan had evolved an ingenious system of rainwater harvesting known as kunds or kundis or tankas. Almost all the houses in the region such as Bikaner, Polodi and Burma traditionally had these tankas. These are some underground storage for drinking water and as large as big rooms which were a part of well-developed rooftop rainwater harvesting system. They were connected to the sloping roofs through pipes and rainwater moves down the pipes were stored in these tankas generally built inside the main house or courtyards. A tanka in one household in Palodi was as big as 6.1 meter deep, 4.27 meter long and 2.44 meter wide. First spell of rain is usually not collected. Why is it so? First spell of rain cleans the roofs and the pipes and may not carry clean water. Rainwater can be stored in the tankas till the next rainy season when all other sources are dried up. It is an extremely reliable source of drinking water. Rainwater, which is known as polar pani in the region, is considered as the purest form of natural water. There are some other traditional methods of rainwater harvesting such as kuls or gulls, johad or kandins, and temple tank. A kul is a circular village tank from which water is released as and when required. It was mostly practiced in the hilly areas of western Himalayas where they used diversion channels from the kul or gulls and water was used for agriculture. Diversion channels of some kuls are as long as 10 kilometers and have existed for centuries. It is very common practice in the Spiti area of Himachal Pradesh. Despite being a cold desert, the Spiti Valley has been made habitable and productive by traditional irrigation system. Water is mainly collected from the glaciers and stored in the coves. In some arid and semi-arid regions, agricultural fields were converted into some rain-fed storage structures that allowed the water to remain for longer time and moisten the soil. It was called Kandins in Jaisalmer and Johad in other parts of Rajasthan. Temple tanks are age-old method for collecting water. Many of the religious places in India has a tank of their own to collect water. What is the importance of these temple tanks? This water is considered to be holy and usable for the local community living nearby. In the plains of West Bengal too, people used to develop inundation channels to irrigate their fields. An important traditional water harvesting system practiced in Meghalaya is bamboo drip irrigation. Bamboo drip irrigation is a 200-year-old ingenious system of tapping stream and spring water by using bamboo pipes. It is so perfected that about 18 to 20 liters of water enters the bamboo pipe system, gets transported over hundreds of meters, and finally reduces to 20 to 80 drops per minute at the site of the farm. Bamboo pipes are used to divert perennial springs on the hilltop to the lower reaches by gravity. Then, the channel sections are made to divert water to the plant site, and the pipes are distributed into branches which are laid out with different form of bamboo pipes. Here, flow of water is controlled by manipulating the pipe positions. If the pipes needed to pass a road, they are taken high above the road. Reduced channel section and diversion units are used at the last stage. The last channel section enables water to be dropped near the roots of the plant. What is the importance of bamboo drip irrigation? There is no wastage of water as water is dropped near to the roots of the plants. Recall why this area is important for. Cherrapunji and Masinram received the highest rainfall in the world. But surprisingly, Shillong, the capital city of Meghalaya, situated just 55 kilometers away from these two places, suffers from acute water shortage. Why do you think Meghalaya suffers from water scarcity after receiving such high rainfall? It experiences a shortage of drinking water during the summer, mainly due to high surface runoff, and the area is hilly with steep slopes. The problem is solved by rooftop rainwater harvesting. Now, nearly every household in the Shillong city has a rooftop water harvesting structure. About 15 to 25% of the total water requirement of the household comes from rooftop water harvesting. Do you know that only Bangalore alone receives nearly the equivalent of 3,000 million liters of rainwater per day? Utilizing 30% of rainfall will give more water to Bangalore than what it gets from the Kaveri and can prevent artificial flood in the city. In Bangalore city, with around 60 rainy days, a 500-liter rain tank fixed to a 50 square meter roof catchment can collect nearly 23,000 liters of rain in a year. Thus, many of our cities bear a good capacity of rainwater harvesting. Can you name the state where rooftop rainwater harvesting structure is compulsory? Tamil Nadu is the first and only state in India which has made rooftop rainwater harvesting structure compulsory to all the houses across the state. Even there are legal provisions to punish the defaulters. Rainwater harvesting is the only economically and ecologically viable way to overcome calamitous water shortage in various parts of our country.